Hi there. So I'm going to be talking to you today about the 5 key lessons that I have learnt personally about creating a life that I love. Now, a lot of these lessons are going to be in our Project Love, Design a Life You Love in 2017 course, which starts next Monday, so the 16th of January. So I'm going to be talking more about that at the end of this video. But for now, let me share with you my top 5 best lessons, most important things that I do to make sure that I'm living a life that really reflects who I feel I truly am and gives me what I need in life to feel happy and fulfilled. So number 1, really important to first of all acknowledge the areas in my life where I'm not feeling happy. And this one I still struggle with. I still resist it. I still try and plaster on top. It's fine. It's fine. You know, sometimes things are just this way. Because it's always, I've got a very strong narrative going on in the background that is all about I have to be a strong and independent woman. I should have had this all sorted by now. I'm a life design coach. I should not still be needing to work on my life. It's a silly narrative. It's not a wise narrative, but nevertheless, it's a loud narrative that seems to take the driving seat a lot more than I would perhaps like it to. So I'm working on that. But the most important thing is that I eventually catch it. And I eventually will go, do you know what? That there are areas in my life that I really am not happy with. I do want them to be better. And what my shitty committee, that internal critical voice, will always come up with is like, it's never good enough for you, is it? You've always got to be, something's got to be better. Why aren't you just happy with what you've got? You're really lucky. You should just be happy with that. I think a lot of people suffer from this. It's not about being spoiled. It's not about things never being good enough. It's really important that we acknowledge, if we are to have lives in which we feel really, truly happy and fulfilled, that we acknowledge the areas that just aren't working for us in the way we would like them to work. Okay? That's all it is. So for me, it's always important that I take an honest, hard look at all areas of my life and say, do you know what? That actually, it's not working for me. I'm not happy in that area of my life. Doesn't mean I'm not happy overall. It just means that bit really isn't working for me. And that really is where it begins, is having the honesty and having the courage to acknowledge where I'm not happy in life, where things aren't working. And then, once I've acknowledged that, once I've been honest with it, and often once I've expressed it with a few friends, then I can actually start to do something about it. And then it turns into something that I can find and create positive solutions for. But it always has to start with acknowledging where I'm not happy and what isn't working. Number 2. So when you start becoming a life designer and you start taking the time to step back and looking at the areas of your life, and particularly the ones that aren't working, going, okay, what am I going to do about it? The next step is you need to be able to have the creativity and vision to create a new way of living that you want to start to design and manifest and bring into your life. So in order to help me to come up with ideas and create new visions of how I want that area of my life to look like and feel like, what I want to achieve, what I want to create, it's really important that I cultivate and make space for that creative side of me and that intuitive side of me that just knows what I need. It's really important when I am coming up with ideas and creating a vision for my life that I'm not just sitting there going, I don't know. We do know, you know. So if you're feeling that sounds about like you at the moment, you do have the answers inside. But what people get stuck with is that they have lost connection with that creative, intuitive, playful side of them that so easily comes up with ideas. And it is a childlike side of us. We are really good. Kids are amazing with their imagination, coming up with random stuff. You try and tell a story, make-believe story with a kid where anything goes. They will go down the most random routes. And that's kind of what you need to bring back. So really important for me is when I'm going through the sort of the visioning and coming up with ideas stage, it's really important for me to get into that playful mode and not get, otherwise I get stuck in a kind of limited way of thinking and limited possibilities. I need to really be expansive and open-minded about the possibilities of what I could be doing, and really allow myself to dream, and dream wildly and dream big. There's a really exciting piece in the Design a Life You Love in 2017 course that I'm going to be sharing about what you do with these dreams. We stop ourselves from dreaming when we become adults. I see this happen over and over again. Kids are amazing at dreaming. When we become adults, we seem to say to ourselves, well, now I have to be sensible. Now I have to stop being such a dreamer, and I have to start making more sensible decisions. So we actually stop ourselves from dreaming. And the problem with that is it's kind of a misunderstanding about dreams. I'm not saying that your big wild dream about being a rock star or being a world famous writer is exactly what you need to be going and doing. But if you do have big wild dreams of living somewhere totally different, a totally different way of life, let's listen to that dream. Let's unwrap that dream and see what lies at the heart of it. What is it telling us about what you need to feel happy and fulfilled in life right now? Now, it might not be that exact dream that we need to bring to life, but guaranteed that dream is telling you a lot about what it is that you need. It's also about learning to get that dreaming muscle going, because a lot of us forget how to dream and stop allowing ourselves to dream. So in the course, I did say I was going to tell you more about it at the end, but I'm going to be weaving in a few little nuggets here. In the course, we're going to really be looking at how you get yourself dreaming again if you stop doing that. So it's really important for me that I get kind of playful and get into that mode. And I do that actually quite often by getting creative with my hands. So I've really been craving doing like painting journaling, just getting messy with paints and just creating shapes and just seeing what arrives on the page, not trying to be perfect about it or create something that I'd want to put up on the wall, but just allowing that creative side of me just to get going, probably hands in paint or just making anything. I was making stuff over Christmas with potato cutters and homemaking wrapping paper, but even that allowed the giggly, creative, childlike side of me, which has such power and wisdom in her, and we forget that. So that's my second important lesson for me when I am creating a life that I love. So my lesson number 3 is really feeding up on inspiration. This is so key for me, and actually probably so key for all of us. Often what I'll do when I have first kind of get ideas of what it is I want to do, what it is I want to do with this year, what I want it to be all about, is I'll have a vague big picture of that vision. And so the thing for me to do next is go and feed up on inspiration, to kind of start filling that picture in. And that process I love. I mean, this is a great part. This is the bit where you're really sitting in your comfort zone, and it's nice and it's warm and you're just absorbing and you're just kind of like soaking stuff up and getting inspired. Inspiration, that experience of being inspired, is so important because it galvanizes us into action. And once you start taking action, then you're going to have to step out of that nice, warm, comfortable zone and into a space of unknown, where you're trying new things and you are stepping out there and doing things that might scare you a little bit or make you kind of feel a bit wobbly. So the inspiration phase is, for me, the most cozy and enjoyable part of designing a life that you love. So it's just about, for me, I'll go and buy books, I will feed up on TED Talks, I will ask friends who I think they've got it going on well, let me speak to them. I'll even find an excuse to interview people that I see out there online, and interview them about how they've done it, to kind of pick their brains. And it's just about really getting myself inspired so I can start filling in the pieces of that vision, the sort of big vague picture that I've created, so that it starts being a clearer and clearer picture. And then I'll start getting ideas of how I want to do it and how I'm going to do it. So that's lesson number 3, feeding up on inspiration. So, lesson number 4, plan actions. Now, this is something that I go on and on and on about. I have run whole workshops on this part alone. People seem to love it. Everyone wants to know how I use my calendar as my canvas, which always slightly surprises me because I never think it's that sexy a topic. But it is absolutely key to designing a life you love. And it's something that I learnt way back, right at the start, but it is something that I had to learn. So prior to that, I had a lot of dreams, I had a lot of ideas, but more often than not, they wouldn't actually happen. So I did have that reputation of being someone who was a dreamer. And this was the key lesson that I learned that took me from being someone who had a lot of dreams to someone who was living her dreams. And so when I talk a lot about the importance of planning your actions, using your calendar as your canvas, booking in every small action that you need to do, whether it is new habits that you're creating that you know are going to make you feel a lot happier in life, that are going to really improve your well-being, or whether it's putting in actions that are working towards a much bigger goal and a much bigger change, it all has to go into your calendar. A great source of inspiration for me at the time when I was figuring this out was David Allen, who wrote a book called Getting Things Done, GTD. I don't want to say that. A great source of inspiration at the time when I was kind of figuring all this out was a guy called David Allen who wrote a book called Getting Things Done. Google him, he'll immediately pop up. And he talks about the importance of having a system that really supports you in getting things done, but from my point of view, in designing the life that you want to live. And so it's about getting all of the stuff out of your head and onto paper, into a to-do list, into a calendar, so that you have a system that you really trust, so that you know when you decide on something that you want to do, and you put it into that system, you trust your system so much, and you trust yourself so much to open up your calendar and to do the things that you have agreed that you're going to do. Okay, a little time has passed since I was trying to finish off that sentence, because as I was discussing it and talking about a calendar and having a system works and doing what you say you're going to do when you said you're going to do it, I suddenly remembered in that very moment I had an interview with the German magazine that I had to go and get on. So some time has passed. It's now dark outside, so I'm now like a white face in a black background. But I quite liked the perfect timing of that. And I ended up being bang on time, so just as well. So I just about have a system that works. But it is so important. And it's not just important so that you meet your dates and Skype interviews with German magazines. But even more importantly, it's so that when you decide on a dream that you want to make real, or you set yourself a goal that you want to head for, or when you decide that there is something that you just want to have more of in your life, if you put it into that system, you know that you're going to make it happen. And that is what will make the difference between you being someone who has ideas of what they want, who has dreams of what the way they'd like their life to be, and someone who actually makes those dreams happen and lives those dreams. It is an essential key to designing a life you love and living a life you love. So I said lesson 4. I can't remember what I actually titled it just then because it was about an hour and a half ago before my interview popped up. But it's definitely using your calendar as your canvas, having a system and planning actions. That's a very long title, but you get the gist. Lesson number 5, we've got there. Lesson number 5 this was a huge lesson for me to learn, and it's really interesting. Women in particular resist this one for a long time, but when they finally get it, it is such a breakthrough and makes such an incredible difference to their lives. Lesson number 5 is getting help when I need it. As a coach, we are particularly bad at admitting and acknowledging that we ever need help for anything, because we figure that as we help others, we should not need to be helped ourselves. Completely wrong. Everyone benefits from, and I would say everyone needs to be helped by others. As human beings, very few of us really operate well as islands. Most of us operate best when we work together and we support one another. And there's so beautiful. Oh, lights going down. And it's so beautiful when we actually do start allowing that in our lives. So when there are areas of your life that you just know you really want them to be different, and you perhaps don't know how you're going to do that, or even what you want that area of your life to look like, that is the point where you go and get help. That is the point where I go and get help. I go and speak to people. I get myself a coach. I go and see a mentor, or hire a mentor, or I go and do courses. And it took me a long time, ironically, despite the fact I do it for others, to realise that that was what I needed myself. So whether it's about getting help from your friends, getting help from professionals, coaches, all kinds of different therapists, or people who will teach you things, give you guidance, then it is one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves, is get the help we need when we need it. So there you go. Those are my 5 top lessons that I have personally found to be some of the most important ones in my own journey of creating a life that I love. So let me now tell you about the Design a Life You Love in 2017 course, our brand new Project Love course. We are so excited to be running this. I have loved creating this course. Creating this course has had such an incredible impact on my own life. It has allowed me to go even deeper into my own process of creating life that I love. It's helped me to realise certain areas that really do need working on. Remember, back to lesson 1, acknowledging things that are not working, where I'm not happy, and coming up with a vision and plans that have just kept flourishing and growing and are already in action. Great things are already happening. If you are in the course, I will share more with you about that. A lot of the course is going to be about sharing some of the key lessons that I've learnt over the years designing a life that I love, but also the lessons that Vicky and I have learnt from helping others to create lives and relationships, as well as careers and businesses that they love. And what I love actually about Vicky and I coming together is that we actually come from 2 very different perspectives on bringing about change in our lives and helping others bring about change. I have quite a kind of get out there, make things happen approach to it, which works really well in some areas of life and not so well in others, which is why I was stuck in my love life for such a long time. Vicky has a far more feminine approach, which is really stand in space, invite things in, and using the power of manifestation and visualization, which is why she was doing so well in the area of love and needed my help when it came to the area of kind of career and business and taking things forward. So when you bring those 2 approaches together, it's a kind of a complete circle. So again, we'll be going through whether it's that you just want more fun in your life or you want more balance in your life, you don't want to be so caught up in work this year. We'll be showing you how you can make those changes, how to create a life full of the things and experiences you want it to be full of. Maybe there are some big changes you want to make this year. Maybe this is the year you want to change career. Maybe this is the year you want to start a business. Maybe this is the year you want to sort out your love life, in which case we will be able to show you how to bring about those bigger changes in your life. So excited to be doing this course with you. So it's a great course for you if you just really want to make 2017 a year that you look back on and go, that was a great year. So if 2016 was a bit of a struggle for you, then this is a great course for you to see, okay, how are we going to make 2017 a great year? Like I said, if you're wanting to go through a big change, it's a great course for you. Mums out there who are feeling a bit like life is just getting a little bit hard with all this mothering and perhaps work as well and all the other things you've got going on, this is definitely a course that mums can do, because I have essentially been doing it. And I have, up until recently, been a mum with 2 businesses. So that's been challenging. It's a great one, I think, for mums to do. It's a great one if you have started a new chapter in life, perhaps moved to a new location, or if you want to start a new chapter in life. But ultimately, this is a course for anyone who just really likes the idea of being the artist of their own life, recognizing that you really do have a lot of power to affect the course of your life and the way you experience it. This will work for you if you've never done this kind of thing before, or if actually you're already doing this kind of stuff but you'd like to take it to the next level and go deeper. So I recognize I'm basically saying it's for all women. It's not for all women. It's not going to be for you if you really just can't make the time for any of this. So actually that's one of the most important things with life design. You have to create the time to step back and get into conversation with yourself about what you want. You have to create the time to then turn those visions into actions and not just get caught up with work and the narrative of there's not enough time. So the most important thing, if you're going to do this course, is to actually be willing to dedicate a little bit of time each week to watching the online workshop that we're going to be doing every week. It will be recorded in case you can't make that specific time. And to do the exercise that we give you. We know pretty much all of the people doing the course will be busy, will have things going on. So it's not too content heavy, but there will be actions that you need to take and things you need to put in your calendar. So we cannot wait to be running this. And yeah, we can't wait to see what 2017s get designed and lived by the people that do this course. So watch this space in a year's time as we come back and report all the things that people got up to. And we hope that you will be one of those people. So if you are interested, head over to the link below. £49 if you want to get it, £69 if you want to do it with a friend. So you could always gift that other ticket to do the course to a friend that you love. See you on the course. Bye.